All right, a lot to discuss at the municipal level. Ahead of the start of the provincial vaccine passport system that's set for next week, the city out with its latest initiative to help boost our current vaccination rates. Can we get there? For more, I'm joined by Mayor John Tory. Good morning to you, Mayor Tory.
Good morning, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing well. We've got a goal. The city has the goal of 90% vaccinated for those who are eligible. At this pace, do you feel optimistic we can get there?
Yes, I mean, the pace has slowed down because we had the people who were enthusiastic and well-informed and comfortable getting vaccinated. And in fact, you know, the numbers we put on the board, where we're close to 80% fully vaccinated, are numbers that are respectable in any global context whatsoever for a big city like ours. But now there are the people left. There's about 300,000 plus that need to be vaccinated in order for us to get to the 90%. And the good news is that more than half of those are people who have had one dose and simply. When I say simply, they require a second dose, and in some cases, they just need more reassurance, more comfort, more information just about the vaccines and about the entire process. And that's what we're going to do, plus this initiative that you made reference to that we've launched today for the next 4 days, to have dozens and dozens and dozens of mobile and pop-up clinics on street sidewalks, in subway stations, in malls, in schools, you know, and we're doing it with healthcare partners across the city, dozens of them. And we just hope that will make it accessible enough for people to feel comfortable getting that second dose, or in many cases, a first dose.
I think it's important to create this distinction. It's not necessarily anti-vaxxers. It's people who could be vaccine hesitant, or, as you mentioned, maybe don't have the information that they need, or it's not accessible to them. So hopefully this bridges the gap here and we can hit that 90%, because indeed that's a great target to get to. Let's look ahead to next week, September 22nd, circled in the calendar for so many people when it comes to this vaccine passport, the certificate program. In the news conference, Health Minister Christine Elliott, you know, kind of jumped ahead and said, if things aren't enforced, we encourage business owners or whatnot to contact authorities. Could you call 911? And we saw Toronto police say, listen, 911 is for emergencies. Are you nervous that we're going to get into some of these tense situations, which we've already seen, where businesses are forced to make some decisions and there's some pushback there and it gets escalated?
The only reason I think any business would really have to have a serious problem that would require calling anybody is if the people who are have a problem with vaccinations, and I understand their right to have that opinion, but they don't have the right to intimidate, to be aggressive in their behavior, to be profane, to be physically abusive, which we've seen, against business owners or anybody else. And so if people, you know, just choose to exert their opinion by having a sign or walking up and down in front of some business if they have a problem, we'd rather they didn't even do that to interfere with those businesses. But that's the only reason that authorities would have to be called. I mean, I have had to show proof of vaccination a couple of places, as a lot of viewers probably have, and you simply have your phone or a piece of paper and show the proof of vaccination. It takes about 10 seconds and you go where you're going. And so I just think that this is a very routine thing that people will do. The government is helped by making sure you have a proper proof of vaccination available, so that that's the issue that they had to address. But I think that this notion of a lot of 911 calls, and people should not use 911, and I think this is what the minister meant, unless there's a real kind of violent struggle going on of some kind, which I think will be very, very few and far between, unless the people who are waging an ideological war about vaccinations decide they're going to get aggressive and get you know, into an intimidation kind of posture with businesses and their customers. But I can't believe they would do that, because it's just so contrary to what people are trying to do here, which is get themselves vaccinated to keep everybody healthy and to keep, frankly, keep those businesses open.
Before I let you go here, will there be any stepped up enforcement? Will bylaw officers will more be available, knowing at least in the beginning of the certificate program that we could run into some instances where they'd be called?
Well, when you say will more be available, we have about 200 of them. We have just under 5,000 police officers. They are watching out for any violation of laws, and they will do that. And I'm sure there'll be a heightened awareness of the fact that this vaccine, proof of vaccine business is going on. But the number of people who are available to do all law enforcement is what it is, and they make their own decisions about when they should step in. But they'll be watching for this, just to keep peace, to keep businesses open, and to keep people healthy. And that's what this is all about. Okay, so we'll check in with you next Thursday when this program will already be in place for a couple days. This is it for me, but you know where you're going next, right? Oh, I know. Oh, boy, here we go. This way.